1914 Australia seemed a time of prosperity and peace. A population of just over 5 million, Australians had large families and married for life, and apparently there was no sex before marriage. Social media was the daily newspaper, and increasing numbers went to local cinemas to watch the early silent movies and early newsreels. There was no radio, but sheet music was the iTunes of the day, sold relatively cheaply and played in homes across Australia. Gramophones were becoming more common, and if you didn't have one, a neighbour probably did. The town of Darwin, previously known as Palmerston, boasted a population of just over 3,000 people, with a ratio of 5 men to every woman. Not much has changed. Though it was somewhat ramshackle, there was no reticulated water, sewerage, or electric power. It was sociable and multicultural. Garden parties, fetes, boxing matches, dances with a Darwin Town band, and concerts were common. Chinatown was where you could buy almost anything, especially if it was wearable. Though Chinatown in Kavanagh Street had somewhat of a seedy reputation. And there was a strong Japanese community. More populous were our First Peoples. Indigenous Australians were not classed as citizens, and therefore their numbers were not accurately counted. They lived traditional lives across the territory, and in Darwin they served as stockmen, labourers, and domestic staff. In 1914, all children were under the guardianship of the Chief Protector. As non-citizens, they were ineligible for military service. And then war broke out. Many answered the call to arms, though in Darwin you couldn't enlist. You had to go to Townsville for that. European ancestry stirred in some a yearning to go back to the motherland and assist in the war, while for others it may have been an opportunity to steer away from the problems here in Darwin. Tensions between the Australian Workers' Union and Mr. John Gilreath, the administrator at the time, were at an all-time high. The Vesties meatworks was taking too long to build, and then there was a beer tax. Yes. That led to the Darwin Rebellion. Still for others, it may have been an opportunity to find an adventure to travel overseas. And for others, just to be counted for once. For whatever reason, our diggers left Darwin to fight a war on the other side of the world. One thing was for sure: a sense of home would make the journey bearable. Music was just that. It felt like home, it felt like peace. It reminded us of Mum, of home-cooked meals, of Christmas, and of home. And when the armistice was signed at 11 a.m. on the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, music brought our boys home. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's an honor to present to you, in commemoration of 100 years of armistice, Voices of Remembrance.
An alarming development in the European situation has occurred, consequent upon the rejection by Serbia of the Austrian date demanding the punishment of the Serbians alleged to have been implicated in the assassination of the Archduke Francis Ferdinand at Sarajevo at the instigation, it is believed, of Russia. Serbia is making a stand. Well, I don't like the look of what's happening in Europe.
Oh, John, there's a reason it's called the European situation. Surely the Northern Territory Times has more than doom and gloom to report.
Let me see. How about this then? If all the women who lived in Port Darwin looked as well as Mrs. Gilreath after 2 years' residence, it must be a fine place and life must flow in pleasant lines. I can't stomach this tripe.
Give it here. Goodness me. Bright, alert, and decidedly up-to-date in appearance, Mrs. Gilruth is an attractive personality, full of enthusiasm for her pet schemes. A woman of her position who goes into the wilds, as it were, gives up a great deal, and she must possess a tremendous amount of grit and vitality. Mrs. Gilruth seems the very woman to be the wife of the administrator, and in this case must be an unfailing help to her husband in his public capacity. When asked about the climatic conditions at Port Darwin, Mrs. Gilruth said,
"Children according to the climate. Muslin frocks and open-weave stockings are out of the question. Mosquitoes have a penchant for ankles and must not be indulged."
What a load
John,
of...
sure the Gilruths are fine people.
Yeah, well, Mr. G should have stayed in Dunedin or Melbourne or wherever he came from, rather than coming up here and throwing his weight around.
Mum, Dad, I think they're going to need us over in Europe.
Well, that's not an option for you, young man. And besides, I'm sure this whole thing will sort itself out in no time. Now, did you get the cotton from Mr. Long's on Kavanagh Street?
Yes, Mum, here it is. But surely we should be preparing. I mean, Mum, you're from Europe. Dad?
Listen to your mother. Besides, there's enough happening back here with this union stuff heating up. Mrs. G might be having a fine time playing dress.
Oh, Eve, what a pleasant surprise. And your timing is impeccable.
Oh?
The room was full of war and rebellion. To what do we owe the pleasure?
Well, I wondered if I might borrow your gramophone to play this record. I've just received it from a dear relative in Melbourne. Actually, would you mind if I could play it now?
Of course. John?
Who on earth calls themselves the man in the velvet suit? He sounds very theatrical.
Mr. Billy Williams is the most popular singer in music halls across the world right now. And more importantly, he's from Melbourne.
Case in point.
Mum, I'm going to the Oval.
Be home before dark.
Father papered the parlour, but he had no right to do so. Our parlour wanted papering, Pa said it was a waste to call the paper hangers in, and so he made some paste. He brought some rolls of paper, a ladder and a brush, and with me mother's nightgown on Eddie, he made a rush. When Father papered the parlour, you couldn't see Pa for paste. A dabbling here, dabbling there, there was paste and paper everywhere. Mother was stuck to the ceiling, the kids were stuck to the floor. You never saw such a blooming family so stuck up before. Lie-dee-di-dee-dee-dum, lie-dee-di-dee-da. A-dee-dee-dee-dum, da-dee-dee-dee-dum, da-dee-dee-da-da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-dee-dum, da-da-da-da-dee-do. You never saw such a blooming family so stuck up before. So Pa fell down the stairs and dropped the paper hanger's can. And little sister Mary sitting there with her young man. The paste stuck them together as we thought they'd be for life. We had to call the parson in to make them man and wife. When Father papered the parlour, you couldn't see Pa for paste. A dabbling here, a dabbling there, there was paste and paper everywhere. Mother was stuck to the ceiling, kids were stuck to the floor. You never saw such a blooming family so stuck up before. Father papered the parlour, you couldn't see Pa for paste. A dabbling here, what about poor old Father, eh? There was paste all over him, do you get it?
Hey, brother.
Oh, hey. I'm Rusty. Who are you?
My name's G.
That's a funny name.
So is Rusty.
Where do you live?
Carlin House.
Where's that?
That way.
With your family?
Nah. My family that way. Alice Springs.
Well, how'd you get here?
White fella car.
Why?
Look like you.
But why? I might be getting out of here soon.
Where?
To Europe.
What for?
The Brits. They need our help.
Why?
Oh, I don't know really. You should come.
Nah.
You don't say much, do you?
Brother, no one asked me to say much at all. They don't want me that way. They don't want me here.
What do you mean?
Black fella. No citizen. Can't go.
Oh, that shouldn't matter. Anyway, it's getting dark. I gotta go. I'll see you around, maybe?
a smile, a funny smile.
Flush or broke, he'll have his little joke. He can't be suppressed.
All the other fellas have to grin when he gets this off his chest.
Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. While there's a Lucifer to light your flag, smile, boys, that's the start. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. Private Burns went marching into Flanders with his smile, his funny smile.
He was loved by the privates and commanders for his smile, his funny smile.
When a throng of soldiers came along with a mighty swing,
Burns yelled out, "This little bunch is mine. Keep your heads down, boys, and sing."
pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. While there's a Lucifer to light your flag, smile, boys, that's the start.
What's the use of worrying?
It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile.
Farewell, the Northern Territory contingent of the AIF, the Darwin Town Band.
gentlemen, the Australian National Anthem.
Now, you've got everything,
Yes, Mum.
and you'll write to me from Brisbane.
Mum, I've got to go.
You don't have to go. You know they said we need men in the north in case we're ever
Mum,
attacked.
Mum, I'll be home before you know it.
John,
Good luck, son.
Thank you. Mum, I love you. Okay, wish me luck. Oh, Mum, I'll be home before Christmas. Gee!
They were summoned from the hillside, they were calling from the glen, and the country found them ready at the stirring of for men. Let the tears and
How? I thought you couldn't enlist.
I can't.
Well, then how?
Easy. I've been lying.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I told him I'm from Auckland.
Mate, we're a long way from New Zealand.
Brother, now we, Australia and New Zealand, fight together.
Patrick, McGee, and James. There was Charlie and George, Thomas and Joseph, Patrick, Vicky and James, and many more whose names I never learned. Our comrades forever. Who never reached
come along, the man I love, and he'll be big and strong, the man I love. And when he comes my way, I'll do my best to make him stay. He'll look at me and smile, I'll understand, and in a little while he'll take my hand. And though it sounds absurd, I know we both won't say a word. Maybe I will meet him Sunday, maybe Monday, maybe not. Still, I'm sure to meet him someday. Maybe Tuesday will be my good news day. We'll build a little home just meant for two, from which I'll never roam. Who would you? And so all else above, I'm waiting for the man I love, the man I love.
Gee, can you believe we're in France? Oh, come on, give me something.
Okay. This one's funny bread, this one.
Yes, but look at the girls.
Those girls are not that desperate. These wahines have got, girls have got nothing on my missus back home. My hine moa is Tinoa Tahua. Oh, she's pretty. Where you fellas from?
Darwin.
How far's that from Melbourne?
Oh, it's nowhere near.
Where then?
Northern Territory.
Near that big rock?
Oh, nah, not really.
What about you, bro? Where you from?
That way.
Or near that big rock?
Anyway, who are you?
I'm Captain Pekamaka from Rangatokia, Aotearoa. Oh, that's New Zealand.
Where's that?
That way.
That way.
Wait, a captain?
Yep.
Wow, what are you doing in France?
On leave from Belgium. Head back tomorrow. My family could see me now traveling the world.
Ooh, my mum wasn't too happy about me coming here.
No one really is, bro. Your family is your mum and dad, though, eh? Mine is the whole bloody village. All crybabies when they were saying goodbye. All my toothless nannies singing with their juju lips, trying to kiss me, singing, "Now is the hour."
Wait, that's a Kiwi song, isn't it?
Kiwi song? Actually, "Now is the hour" was an Aussie song. We stole it from you fellas and made it better. In years to come, the whole world's going to think it's from New Zealand, and that's going to be extremely ironic. Oh, well, better go. Want to say goodbye the Kiwi way?
Sure.
Come here then. Press your nose against mine.
Why?
To keep my nose flat. Just do it.
All right then.
Yeah. What are you, an Eskimo? Bro. See? Oh, well, see you fellas later.
Private William McBride, do you mind if I sit here down by your graveside and rest for a while in the warm summer sun? I've been walking all day, Lord, and I'm nearly done. I see by your gravestone you were only 19 when you joined the glorious fallen in 1916. Well, I hope you died quick and I hope you died clean. Oh, Willie McBride, was it slow and obscene?
Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife lowly? Did the rifles fire o'er you as they lowered you down? Did the bugles play last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest?
Did you leave a wife or a sweetheart behind? In some faithful heart is your memory enshrined. And though you died back in 1916, to that loyal heart are you always 19? Or are you a stranger without even a name, forever enshrined behind some glass pane, in an old photograph torn and tattered and stained, and fading to yellow in a brown leather frame?
Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife lowly? Did the rifles fire o'er you as they lowered you down? Did the bugles play last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers
gently the red poppies dance. The trenches have vanished long under the plough. No gas and no barbed wire, no guns firing now. But here in this graveyard that's still no man's land, the countless white crosses in mute witness stand to man's blind indifference to his fellow man, and a whole generation that was butchered and damned.
Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife lowly? Did the rifles fire on you as they lowered you down? Did the bugles play last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest?
And I can't help but wonder now, Willie McBride, do all those who lie here know why they died? Did you really believe them when they told you the cause? Do you really believe that this war would end wars? But the suffering, the sorrow, the glory, the shame, the killing, the dying, it was all done in vain. To Willie McBride, again and again and again and again. Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife lowly? Did the rifles fire on you as they lowered you down? Did the bugles play last post in chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest?
We need to take our boys home! I'm going back to get them!
No.
you miss home?
Darwin,
Oh, so you miss Alice? I miss Mum.
Miss him so much.
I know you must. I'm sure it won't be long now.
It's been nearly 3 years already.
sing.
What?
Sing a song. That'll cheer you up.
All right then. I will. I'm going to imagine there's a big audience at the town hall back in Darwin. Like at one of them smoke socials that Dad's been to. You ready, G?
You're on your own, brother.
Once a jolly swagman camped by the billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree. And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. I could use some help for this one. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come a waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You'll come a waltzing Matilda with me.
Good song, that one, brother. Rusty? Rusty!
Christmas Eve will find me with a love like these. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams, if only in my dreams, only in my dreams. One
No one to walk with, all by myself. No one to talk with, but I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. I know for certain the one I love. I'm through with flirting, it's just you I'm thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in the corner, don't go nowhere, what do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for. Believe me, I don't go out late, don't care to go. I'm home about 8, just me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in the corner, don't go nowhere, what do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for. Believe
Hello, missus? You lost something. Maybe I help you.
My son. He was fighting over in France, but he should have been home by now.
I was in that place
You're a soldier.
before.
Where did you fight?
That place, Froggy Land, he called it.
Who?
My white fella friend, Rusty.
Where is he? Do you know where he is? He should have been home by now.
I don't know, missus. I was discharged a long time ago. You his mother? He braved that one. No fear. Brave.
I have to believe he's alive. There have been so many lost. We signed some peace armistice months ago, but still I have no son. Where is my peace? Oh, you wouldn't understand. I'm sorry.
That's okay, missus. Rusty say we're on a journey now, missus.
A what?
A journey. A journey to peace, missus. I don't know if that war gonna make peace, said missus. Peace come other place. You can't go that way and make peace if you can't make peace back home. You gotta find your own song line. So you're one with the animals, the land, the sky. Your song line start here. What do you feel, missus?
Just a heartbeat.
No, rhythm. That's your very own song, missus. Your songline, your connection to everything around you, no matter what happened.
I just want my boy home.
Well, this might be a lucky day. He right behind you.
Mum!
I'm so proud of you, young man.
Thanks, Mum. It's a nice turnout for the peace parade.
Yeah, well, there's been plenty of peace in Darwin Town since we ran Mr. John Gilrath out of town. I'm very proud of you too, son.
And wasn't it a wonderful parade? Oh, the Palmerston Council have... Oh, old habits. The Darwin Town Council have really done our boys proud.
Excuse me for a sec, Mum, Eve. Why weren't you in the parade?
That way? You, me? Brothers. Here? Black fella again.
Oh, we're still brothers, G. One day it'll all be different. And then the last 5 years will make sense. Wait, G, are you going somewhere?
You know that journey you've been talking about? My journey? Long one, that one. Long one.
But where are you going?
To find my peace.
But where?
That way.